While lots of people would risk their life and probably spend all they've got to become a famous idol, there are still cases of idols being at literally the top of the world wouldn't even bother to hide their exhaustion from being showered in attention all the time. Of course, that sounds counterintuitive because doing so is literally synonymous with destroying one's own career, aka making way less money and receiving way less support for everything they do. It's something that actually happens, and you will see how things go in this video. Number 1. Blackpink. Coming back after about 2 years, Blackpink initially got everyone to think that their comeback, and especially the world tour, would be the most historic moment ever seen in K-pop. In fact, when the girls announced that they would only have 2 promotional stages for the South Korean weekly music shows, the hype about their concert blew up even bigger as many believed they were pouring all their efforts into giving the best world tour and treating fans with the biggest, glamorous performances ever. Unfortunately, as soon as the concert of Blackpink started, most were left with nothing but utter disappointment because the girls' attitude on stage was said to blatantly show how fed up they were with the whole idol career thingy. While Blackpink had lots of fans in their home market, many blinks still couldn't wrap their heads around what they just saw at the Seoul concert after spending a whole bunch of money for the ticket. That's why on November 2, several snippets of the girls were posted on Pan, and according to the OP, it was foolish of her to think that each member of Blackpink had their own style of dancing, rather than they simply couldn't dance. Despite having spent years on hiatus and throughout all that time, their schedule wasn't even packed. The girls seemingly didn't bother to spend a single minute in the practice room. From forgetting their own choreography despite the fact that their choreography was the least diversified among top groups of K-pop, to dancing in desynchronization and only interact with fans for 3 minutes throughout the 2-hour concert, many found the most recent promotion of Blackpink nothing but the members' utter tiredness from being on stage. In fact, the OP said that these things were just the surface of things, and there were many more dark sides that she wouldn't bring up. Yet, because now that foreign blinks also expressed their disappointment, she hoped Blackpink could reflect on what they had done in the past 2 years, and why they all ended up in such a jumble. In the past, posts pointing the fingers at Blackpink would receive lots of negative reactions and downvotes as most believed the criticism was malicious rather than contributive. However, ever since the girls started their world tour and snippets about their performances were spread on the internet like mushrooms, the most recent post calling Blackpink out of their alleged unprofessionalism and the blatant tiredness from being idols has received a whopping amount of upvotes. In the comments section, there wasn't even a single opinion defending them, and for the most part, people all agreed Blackpink has lost their passion in music. Instead, all they have ever focused on for now is hanging out with famous people, endorsing designer brands, and showing up at famous events. The most typical example is that just recently, when Blackpink was on their world tour, Rosé still spent some time attending the LACMA Art Plus Film Gala, despite the fact that many fans were complaining about her dancing that night. When people searched on Google, the keyword Blackpink concert mess was there on top 3 and even on YouTube. There was a whole 8-minute long video talking about how the girls' passion on stage was plummeting as the concert proceeded. In the video, the OP straight up said she thought Blackpink was sleepwalking in several performances, and considering their 12 years in the industry, including the training period, there was no justification for their unprofessionalism. Plus, for those who were defending that Blackpink still enjoyed themselves much and their performances had blown people out of the water, backing up by posting clips of Jennie dancing as if her rent was due, as well as the other 3 members were doing their best in the solo performances, the OP said it didn't help improve the situation because the number of clips showing they're being completely done with the idol career still outshone those showing they were having fun on stage. However, it's just an opinion from a number of fans and netizens, and it doesn't represent the opinion of all blinks and other K-pop fans. Proof that there are still many people who love Blackpink's performances. Thus, fans said that people should not be too harsh with Blackpink just because of a few small mistakes on the stage, but instead enjoy the vibrant and majestic atmosphere that the girls bring. Number 2. NCT's Jaehyun. Despite being among the most famous members of NCT, if not the most reputation-wise, because Jaehyun is now the only member to endorse for a designer brand, he is still believed to be completely done with the idol career. In fact, not only netizens but many fans have said the same thing about Jaehyun, especially for the past 2 years, when the pandemic hit and fans couldn't interact much with the idols in real life. His signs of being fed up with his career was said to show even more clearly than ever before. Things all started at the end of last year when many NCTzens started to flock into Pan, complaining that they felt like wasting money because Jaehyun rarely communicated with them through Bubble, though they were literally paying every single month just to receive his texts. According to a stat made by fans, he texted least out of 23 members and even fewer than the 2 members that barely went on any promotion. The incident then exploded on the internet, and for a long time, people would always come after Jaehyun for not being able to complete his job as an idol with the bare minimum efforts. However, Jaehyun didn't seem to care at all because just several months ago, he was caught up in the exact same situation again. This time, several of his hardcore fans decided to turn their backs on him because instead of sincerely communicating with them, Jaehyun just randomly and occasionally posted some selfies on Bubble, which according to fans was an insidious move to not be the member with least texts on Bubble again. That was not to mention how he would always be on his phone in every NCT's content, and basically, because asking fans 1 or 2 sentences didn't cost much time. Many believed it was clear that he didn't care about his image and the career he was doing anymore. In one TikTok video naming those idols fed up with their career, many agree that Jaehyun should definitely be there on part 2, as he was the first person netizens thought of when reading the title. However, some said they couldn't blame him either because many NCTzens had been acting overly possessive, though in fact, the relationship between Jaehyun and them was merely an entertainer and fans. Thus, they can't just ask Jaehyun to take care of every single one of thousands of fans he has. Number 3. EXO's Dio. Having literally spent all of his life as an idol and only being able to get to where he is right now thanks to the job, it sounds quite ironic to put Dio in this list. However, the fact that Dio is completely done with the idol career is confirmed by tons of people, and even his hardcore fans are now so used to it that they found it funny rather than resentful. Ever since day one, Dio has always been famous for being the most low-key member in EXO, and regardless of how famous the group was, he would barely show any sign of excitement when appearing in the public as an idol. From on-stage to off-stage, people would literally always see him with a poker face, and even though the idol job required one to look at their finest 24/7, Dio still didn't care and stayed loyal to the army haircut for an extremely long period. Talking about moments where he looked completely done with the idol life, there are tons of them with just one click away on the internet. Take these 2 times where Dio appeared at the year-end award shows, for example. While the other members were either enjoying the performances or having the best time of their life, Dio just sat there, completely out of sync with the world and not even bothering to hide the wish to yeet away soon. Or this time when EXO was recording their content and all the members were trying to make the atmosphere more fun, Dio was just standing there, staring at the camera and not even wanting to speak up after Chen asked him to say Q. Things kept going that way for quite a while, and probably as SM Entertainment also felt the irritation of Dio, they gradually let him venture into the acting career, as this was his favorite field and he has been receiving rains of compliments. After nailing all the roles he played, Dio is now almost viewed as an actor in the industry rather than an idol. So, except for Dio, why do you think these idols are so fed up with their own job, while it was the path they chose and being an idol was their ride or die in the first place? Or is it because they have their own suffering that no one understands? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching!